welcome to another Quickfire session. Our topic for today will be proactive threat detection in interconnected mobile networks. And I have two super amazing speakers with me today. So first, Jon Mewis from Nokia, Head of Security Portfolio Management, and of course, Koen Nguyen from BICS, Head of Security and Fraud Prevention Solutions. So basically, two perfect people to talk a lot and very well about our topic for today. My name is Oscar Birnbreyer. I'm a partner at Analysis Mason, and I'll be your host for today. So welcome, two of you. The first question would be maybe, or how can we approach this topic, right? So maybe we should first gain a general understanding of inter-roaming threats. So maybe, Koen, over to you. What can you say about that?
Yeah, hi, Oscar. So first of all, thank you for having me here with you. So basically, inter-roaming relies on signaling messages that are exchanged between mobile operators to manage mobility services, initiate a call, send SMS, or open a data sessions. And the most actually known protocol in signaling are SS7 in 2G and 3G and diameter in 4G. Now, SS7 has a lot of vulnerabilities because it was designed in the mid-70s within a closed group of operators, and back then, security and authentications were not the key priorities. So today, we have more than 700 networks in the world. The ecosystem is much larger, more complex. We see apparitions of MVNOs, we have, for example, aggregators, or value-added services providers that are going into the game. So additional factors actually that can I would say create false positives, GT leasings, for example, or signaling steering of roaming platforms that can mess up with the signaling. So we see a huge increase of attacks coming not only from the hackers who used to actually do that for the fun, but also from fraudsters and cyber criminals. So the top 4 attacks that we can see are call and SMS interceptions, location tracking, impersonations or ID spoofing, and denial of service, so known as DOS attacks.
Thank you very much for this first insight. Jörn, anything to add here?
Yeah, at first, thank you for having me here. Maybe some words on the impact of the different attacks Koen was describing. We, of course, talk about privacy violations due to the tracking of mobile user location, which is dangerous for high-profile individuals like celebrities, journalists, or politicians. We talk about financial loss and reputational damage due to unauthorized access to sensitive data or sensitive services. And we talk about service disruptions as a result of denial of service attacks.
Okay, I mean, that's obviously a good point to always talk about the impact as well. But if we are deep diving more into specific threats and risks, so how does eavesdropping and interception attacks actually exploit SS7 vulnerabilities? Maybe Koen, you start again.
Yeah, sure. So the most common attack in SS7 are call and SMS interceptions, as you just mentioned. So hacker needs a computer running Linux, and he just needs to go to internet and download an SS7 SDK. He needs then to connect to the global SS7 roaming networks by using a global title. And the trick to fool the targeted MNO is to make him believe that his computer is actually a legit network element. So, for example, an MSC, a VLAR, or an HSS that needs actually to exchange subscriber informations with his home network equipment. Now, if the attacks pass, he will be able actually to receive calls and SMS and subscriber information on his computers. Now, the challenge for the MNO is to check if it can trust the global title or not. Now, on the other hand, diameter, for example, is less prone to attacks because it has been designed a bit lately with more security in miles-like encryptions. Nonetheless, SS7 and diameter are both vulnerable protocols if they are not actually configured properly. So security will always be an ongoing challenge for MNOs.
Okay, my feeling is that this answer was pretty on spot. Maybe Koen, you can continue with fraud and identity theft. How can this be facilitated through inter-roaming attacks? Since the first answer was so perfect, I'll give you that question.
Sure. So roaming means that home operators need to allow inbound roamers into the networks. And this is why we have roaming agreements in place since the beginning. So a typical MNO could have up to 200 direct agreements and can use a couple of peering partners for the other destinations. So it is guaranteed that soon or later, one of those partners will be compromised and be the source of malicious attacks. So as an MNO, you are in the control of your perimeters, what is happening inside, but you have less visibility and you don't have control on what's happening outside. And that's why you need to have the right tool for it.
Yeah, and I have the feeling you want to add something to this. What's your view?
Yes, as Quan said, it's all about using the right tool, right? And we at Nokia are building these tools. We are building security applications which are tailored for the usage in mobile communication networks. And Cybersecurity Dome is our SIEM SORA system customers can use for security incident management in their telco domain. Signaling security and roaming security are two areas which are very specific to telecommunication networks. We have expertise in this area, and our expertise allow us to build ready-made security use cases to detect and mitigate the threats Huang was describing before.
Okay, very interesting. And I mean, in the preparation for this video, we talked a little bit about also there is some Gen AI impact or some Gen AI aspects to that. So how does Gen AI enhance proactive threat detection here, and what are the specific benefits it offers?
Yeah. I mean, the integration of Gen AI enhances the process of threat hunting by automation and streamlining. And the main aim is to process data faster and more efficient. In Cybersecurity Dome, as an example, we use Gen AI technologies to automatically ingest and correlate data from multiple threat intelligence feeds. We are trying to map threats to attack frameworks like MITRE, which helps us to understand how threat actors operate. We are using machine learning algorithms for anomaly detection and telemetry data, and for threat identification and threat reporting. And we use the capability of our large language models to generate new use case artifacts like detection rules, response procedures, and mitigation strategies.
And if I'm looking at security operations centers, what are the benefits here?
Yeah, again, it's all about efficiency and speed. Yeah, threat hunting is complicated. It's a time-consuming task. It needs a lot of manpower and very specialized expertise. By using Gen AI data, we can process data faster with higher accuracy. We can give recommendations to help SOC teams to take decisions faster for threat mitigation. Yeah, so Gen AI can reduce the time between ingesting new threat intelligence information and the deployment of new security use cases, and can offload security analysts from routine tasks and allow them to focus on complex and critical issues.
Koen, I'm super sure you have a very well view on this, since you're very experienced and also have a view of the operational teams themselves. So what's your view on this?
Yeah, I can only confirm what Jon just explained. So threat hunting is a very challenging task. It's easy to get lost with so much data. And it's really about making sure that the security operations team can be more efficient. So definitely Gen AI will provide or will allow a faster response time. It will enhance the accuracy of the data. It's going to improve the efficiency, and more importantly, it's a scalable solutions. And at the end, it will really help the SOC team to stay ahead of any potential cyber threats and strengthen the overall security.
Okay, I'm a little bit more curious. So can you actually explain how this actually works, please? A little bit. Let's deep dive now.
Sure. So we have actually partnered with Nokia actually on the solution. So basically, I want to start first with AI and ML. So basically AI and ML, you need first the algorithm and then the data set. And how much sophisticated is your algorithm? If you don't have the right data set, it will simply not work. So data has to be extensive, meaningful, and as accurate as possible. Okay. So BICS today is a wholesale carrier. So basically, we are an international gateway sitting at the boundaries of the networks. And basically, we're carrying 25% of the worldwide signaling messaging and 50% of the roaming data. And today we are processing 60 billions of MSUs, so signaling messages. And we believe that we are at the right position to identify the international threat, but also to confirm the trusted network elements of the operators. So we have developed what we call STI, which stands for Signaling Threat Intelligence, with the objective to provide insight on the behavior of SS7 network elements. So how do we do that? We are scoring daily 150,000 global title under 4 dimensions. So the first dimension is what we call node profiling. So we are trying to identify who is behind the global title. It's not about going to IR21 and look at which kind of network it was assigned to, because that's changed, right? So it could be an HLR today, it could be the global title could be reused for another network element tomorrow. So we are also actually looking at the inbound and outbound volume transactions. We are looking at the number of subscribers and roaming relations associated to the global title. And it's an unsupervised model, so it can be trained every day again. So the second dimension is actually anomaly detections. So basically, we are looking at the evolutions of the traffic pattern over the last 7 days. It's again an unsupervised model. The third dimension is the classical rules that have been actually proposed by the GSMA signaling guidelines. It's the CAT0, CAT1, CAT2, CAT3. It's about checking, for example, the format of the packet, the calling GT, if the GT has been spoofed or not, for example. It's a rule-based model. And the last dimensions that we are doing is what we call context analysis. This is where we are looking at, for example, the reputations of the number. We are running against our numbering plans, etc. And we believe that all those models are very complementary to the data actually available at the local mobile network operators. And coupled with some nice analytical tools like GenAI, we believe that it can prevent problematic transactions to happen even before it reaches the network of the operator.
It seems as you guys over at BIGS are the perfect partner for Nokia to provide them with the data you need to feed a GenAI model. But Jörn, you're on the Nokia side. What are you actually doing? How are you implementing this? What are you using this data for?
Yeah, I mean, we are using the BIGS data as threat intelligence feeds in our incident management engine and our threat hunting assistant. We are already having a predefined set of signaling security use cases we are shipping along with our product Cybersecurity Dome, and we are using the threat intelligence information from BIGS to detect faster, to eliminate false positives, and to identify the threat actors behind these attacks. In parallel, we are feeding our machine learning model with the information we are getting from BIGS, which allows us to scan our data lakes or the data lakes of our customers for similar attacks from the past. And finally, we are using the BIGS data to enrich our incident reports with additional information.
I mean, that's super cool to see such a stellar example of cross-industry or industry collaboration. Really like it. I mean, where did this idea initially come from? So maybe Koen, you can start answering this.
So we are fighting the same opponents, and they keep finding new ways to reach their goals, right? So we need to act together for the industry. And if we don't, they will target all of us, starting by the weakest. So since all our networks are connected to each other, protecting our neighborhood is the best winning strategy. So international carriers like BIGS can provide complementary information to our local MNOs, and we need service providers like Nokia to bring the right analytical tools to exploit it.
Yeah, absolutely on board with this one. And Nokia, Jörn, do you want to comment? Anything?
Yeah, I can only second what Koen was saying. Yeah, I mean, collaboration is key. Sharing threat and intelligence information helps all to understand and mitigate risks more efficiently. Yeah, pooling resources and expertise from various organizations leads to more effective solutions with smaller investment per organization. Yeah, and finally, the collaboration between BIGS and Nokia is a very good example. Leads to the creation of advanced monitoring and detection systems which are helping everyone, yeah, to enhance the overall security infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe the last question, I promise it's the last question for you, Jan. So everybody's talking about Gen AI, right? And the cyber community is looking for use cases. You found one. Anything else you want to add? Anything where you think the ship with Gen AI cyber will sail?
Yeah, I mean, we believe that the importance of Gen AI for security operation centers is expected to evolve significantly. In the future, Gen AI will be used for real-time data processing, for threat identification. We are going to have enhanced pattern recognition due to machine learning technologies. We are automating response actions like isolating systems or blocking traffic. By automation, we are trying to free up security analysts from routine tasks and keep them focused on the critical things. We are improving decision-making time through real-time insights and recommendations. And we believe that Gen AI will help to automate the generation of compliance reports and audit logs.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely on board with this. Very well said, very good closing statement. Thanks to both of you, not just for this interview, but also for making our networks more secure. It's really good to see such good examples of industry collaboration, as I already said. Thanks again. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And thank you very much and take care.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.